Alrighty, yo, what is up, Knights? Just Rick here, back with some more DFO Charge. This time on my monk. I was about to say male monk. Female monk does exist, by the way, just not in this game. Unfortunately, it's only in shout out to Project Barbecue. But anyway, guys, in this game, we've got the monk character. Now, I'm going to look at my gear real quick because just want to kind of show a comparison. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but my gear is 11 out of 12 Harlem with the Sky Legacy's totem. The only difference between this guy and I'm going to bring up my female striker, is my accessory set. I picked up Temptation on this guy, and I got Dream on my female striker. Not like I chose one or the other, it's just whatever dropped in hell mode, that's what I went with, and quite frankly, they should be pretty similar. But what we're going to notice here when we go into Tabor solo mode, let's go ahead and go into start the solo mode, this is going to take quite a bit longer, is that the monk and the striker are a little bit... Well, in terms of how much damage they do and how much their gear it differs, it's not much, but the damage that they do does differ by quite a bit. So it's just, I think it's kind of me noticing that there is a little bit of discrepancies between the classes because, quite frankly, this is the first time I've actually tried to gear out this character in, in proper gear. You know, I've always kind of put this guy on the back burner in the past, and now I'm going to try to actually gear him out. And quite frankly, when I've been getting him a lot of the Harlem set, I'm just not seeing the big damage increases that I normally see with characters that when I start gearing out. But guys, this is coming after the Operation Hope patch, so I just want to mention that he does have a lot of his new skills already available. They got rid of the Twister of Judgment. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But here's an easy way to dodge this attack right here. Hit him with the backstep, man. There you go. Anyway, but he got this corkscrew punch right there. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's called Corkscrew Blow. Shout out to Dudley. Yeah, and it's a really decent grouping skill, although unfortunately not as good as I thought it would be. But it's pretty good for killing trash mobs, or at least grouping up some trash mobs right here. You can see the range is not all that sizable. But instead what they did give is a lot of suction onto his Hurricane and Roll right here. Way bigger range and, decent enough damage where it's going to kill all those trash mobs, no issue at all. So that's a good, always good. Ooh, missed my nuclear. And missed my other punch as well, so not off to a good start. You don't want to miss his big skills with this character, but yeah, this character, and the reason why I brought up my female striker is because I feel like they're very similar, the two characters. They both kind of get into people's faces to do damage. They kind of do a lot of smaller hits to kind of chain into their bigger hits, and they're kind of similar like that. So the issue with the monk I have, and I'm going to just use Awakening because I'm tired of dodging this guy left and right here. The issue I have with this guy is I just feel like his damage is just not there yet. It's not, you have 4 big skills, and if you don't hit with those big skills, you have nothing really in the downtime, and even those big skills are not hitting as hard as something like, Beat Drive or Lightning Dance. I don't know if it's a gear situation, but I really do feel like even at the later end game, looking at hyper geared monks and stuff like that, they're gonna have trouble dealing the kinds of damage that that characters like, the characters I already mentioned, Striker, even to some extent like Rogue. So it's a little disappointing because this is the first time I actually bothered gearing this guy. That the damage is not where I want it to be, but hey, that just means if you want to be a good monk, you gotta overcompensate. You want to be stronger, then you gotta get a lot stronger than basically everybody else. But life isn't fair, everybody. Life isn't fair. So if you want to try to play monk, you gotta maybe put in a little bit more effort. So that being said, guys, I actually really love monk, and I'm not regretting at all putting in a little bit of effort that I already have in terms of gearing this character out already. Getting him a Sky Legacy in Harlem, that was easy enough to do, and now just doing the Tabor, so hopefully start getting him Tabor set soon. Have not regretted it because I really like playing him. It's been a long time since I actually, monk has always been there, like within my top 10 characters or 5-10 characters. He's always been at the top, and I haven't yet put in a whole lot of effort in terms of the gear. Come on, dude. And I finally did it, and I'm not regretting it. Now, one thing about monk that I'm noticing when I'm starting to do more endgame content with him is he has a really hard time playing safe. you know, he has a skill cancel system, and the reason why I compare him so much to female Striker is that he also has a skill cancel system, and they both kind of get in their face and do attacks. But the problem is he can only cancel one skill, and then he goes on cooldown. Right there, it's on cooldown. Now it's back up. So it's like, instead of having 16 charges that refill really quickly like the Striker does, he can only cancel one skill every, like, you know, 2 seconds or something, whatever the time is on that. And then you have to basically be fully knowing that you're not going to be able to cancel a skill. So it took a little bit of time there, but I've been explaining stuff. So yeah, you kind of just have to sit around fully knowing that you have this one cancel, and if it's on cooldown, all of a sudden moves like the Hurricane and Roll, the Gatling Punch, Machine Gun Jab, all of these moves that have kind of long animations, you're completely vulnerable during the animation. You see this? Like, you can't really get out of, if an attack is coming, you can't get out of it. You're gonna get fucked up. So and what kind of sucks is that he doesn't have like great canceling moves. You know, Striker has like low kick, right? So she can ankle kick or low kick somebody, cancel an animation like immediately. It's like so fast. It's the fastest steal in the game, I think, and it's intentionally designed to cancel out of moves to make them safe, or cancel before into moves to get you the extra damage. You can kind of use it both ways, and this guy doesn't really have that. I think his fastest move is like sidewind, and it's you know, I don't even think it's fast enough to save you from some of these attacks, you know. So it's like, ooh, okay, I almost got fucked up there. There's the fall attack again. So it really is unfortunate that he doesn't have like a great escape move, and that's kind of weird because this character is all about mobility. You know, he's a character who's supposed to be ducking and swaying out of attacks, but he's still really unsafe while he's doing attacks. So it kind of, you know, I want to say antithesis to how the playstyle is on the character. You want to be ducking and swaying out of there, but then he has moves that keep him stationary for long periods of time. You can cancel any move with the sacred countering. You know, that is one option for you. You can use the sacred countering to, you know, muscle shift into sacred countering, and then when you get hit with an attack, you immediately dash out of it. That's one way to get out of attacks, I guess, or make something a little bit safer. But the thing is, if you get hit, even with the sacred countering, you still get hit with the attack. So it's not like you're going to be avoiding damage like I would expect somebody who is ducking and swaying out of attacks to be able to do. So that's kind of unfortunate, but that's kind of how it works with this character. I'm gonna opt to not use my awakenings and regret it, because here's the thing: if your runs are taking like 4 minutes or so, you should use the awakening no matter what on the first couple bosses, because they're gonna be up by the time you fight Harbat. So I did not think about that while I was fighting here. So you see how I'm like ducking, swaying out of attacks. That's how this character is supposed to be played, but if you're not already ready to duck and sway, you can't cancel out and duck and sway. I almost wish you could use muscle shift to immediately duck or sway out of an attack, and that would solve an issue as well. So anyway, kind of just rambling about the same point here, but you kind of understand that's kind of my biggest gripe about this character, is that I end up dying a lot on this character just because if I'm being a little bit too aggressive, I'm gonna get fucking hit with the big boy damage, you know. So hit him with a Gatling Punch. Some big boy damage right here. Ooh, can't get out of that. Well, I think I could have gotten out of that. I just sucked. So you're gonna notice I have been using a lot of the jump canceling more on this character. What jump canceling will do is allow you to use duck or sway and cancel the full animation of it immediately. So if you press the jump key after any of those skills, you see, I can kind of not have to duck or sway all the way, you know, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like a little trick, especially if you want to try to do some like fluid movement to get out of there. See, that's one way you can kind of make it safe. So gotta preemptively do it though. So yeah, if you don't want to sit there and watch the whole animation, you can also use it for movement. I did not mean to do that, so that was my second awakening. I accidentally casted that. Wasted a bit of damage, not a big deal. But yeah, you can jump cancel and make your movement a lot more fluid. This is really important when you want to move along the x-axis. You want to cancel your movement, so you can kind of move diagonally here. Something I was not very good at before, I'm still not very good at, but I'm practicing. It's something that you know, I really love about characters like these is that you can, you know, there are techniques with them that you can practice to try and do better. Brute force it, brute force this. Get out of there! Okay. Almost got myself killed trying to brute force it, man. So yeah, it's just, I love characters like this where you can have like some technique that you can practice. Like I was not good at this before. I'm still not that great. Some people are a lot faster than me at this turning around, but you know, it's a lot faster than waiting the whole duck and the whole sway. You see, this is when you don't use the jump canceling, and then this is when you use the jump canceling. So it's a lot faster. It's more of like a high level technique. You don't need to use it, but just something there, and something I love being able to get better at the character, even for shit that isn't really all that useful. You know, you don't really need to get good at that, but it's something that, you know, something that could be useful. Now, okay, I talked about Elven Knight. I wanted to talk about this with the monk. Is that Elven Knight is one of those characters where you have to learn the system of the character to be good with the character, right? You need to learn the chain rush. If you don't like the chain rush, you cannot play Elven Knight. In fact, I would never recommend anybody playing Elven Knight if you looked at the chain rush system and said, you know what, it's not for me, it's too hard. Whatever your excuse is for not using chain rush, right? Don't play Elven Knight if you, wait, let me get that. Don't play Elven Knight if you're not ready for chain rush. The monk is kind of the same way. You know, he has the duck and sway system like I'm showing here, and then he has the jump cancels if you want to. And would I say the same thing about the monk though? You know, whereas if you don't like the duck and sway system, should you play monk? And the thing I gotta say about that is duck and sway, I think, is a small portion of this character's playstyle. Don't get me wrong, you need to duck and sway, but you don't need to be really good at duck and swaying like you need to be good at chain rush. You can kind of just use duck and sway, honestly. There's 4 skills that come out of duck and sway. 3 different ducking punches as well as chopping hammer, and those are the only 4 skills that even require duck and sway at all. So quite frankly, you don't really need to use duck and sway or be really good at using them. You just need to be able to use those 4 attacks out of it and use it, you know, you don't even have the jump cancel, just use it to get out of attacks. Oh god, that was way crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get out of that attack. Totally my fault, I'll let him swarm me, but yeah, be able to get out of attacks like that. Don't need a jump cancel. That's kind of like an additional tactic. You don't really, you know, it's not necessary. Ooh. Let's see if I can kill these guys without getting hit. That guy is such a cheater, man. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion on it. Why didn't he get stunned, dude? I killed all the guys. Fucking cheater, man. I missed with the big boy damage right there. I also forgot to use my 1A again. Let me just use it. Dude, he's now dying. Die! Oh, how many times did he do that attack? This guy's hella aggro, yo. How many fucking iframes, yo? Stop, man! Jesus Christ. Alright. What I'm trying to say, guys, is you don't need to be all that great at utilizing the duck and sway to be, you know, to be able to play this character. It's something that, you know what, you can pick them up really quickly and then slowly but surely start improving. That's exactly what I did actually when I played the character myself. Is that I understood that what duck and sway was. I looked at the 4 attacks that came out of duck and sway, and then over time I'm trying to improve myself with the duck and sway. With Elven Knight, it's not really the same way because while you're not very good at chain rush, you basically lose out on a ton of damage. So, you know, it's something you got to go into the training room and practice it now. You need to practice it now. It's the first thing you got to do to be good at the class. You don't really need to practice the duck and sway. You just need to be able to do the 4 attacks, and then basically the rest of this character is all about just managing your dry out. You know, managing your cancels. That's all you're really doing with this character, is managing those dry out cancels, using your big skills. Hurricane and roll, and just trying to be safe and getting out of attacks when it's not your turn. I guess it's not your turn to attack. Just get out of it. Just get out of there, and get ready to hit them with some more burst. Because contrary to what I think of this character initially, what I thought of it initially, this character really isn't very good at staying up on somebody's grill and continuously fucking them up. This character just can't do that very well because he gets fucked up way more than he can fuck someone up. He gets a lot more mileage out of, like I said, going in there, hitting them with the big one-hit quitter type of skill, and then getting out of there before shit starts getting crazy. You know, I can't sit here and tank this shit because I'm gonna die. That's how that works with this character. So, and you know, he really does have some good moves. I haven't really talked about him much, but like the atomic punch and the nuclear punch, those are quick moves, so you don't have to stand there for very long to be able to dish out the damage. So anyway, that's Monk. I did die once against the trash mobs, but yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't think I did much duck sway into this run, so you don't need to be able to do it very well to be able to do okay with Monk. And then I guarantee you, if you challenge yourself to start dabbling a little bit in the duck and sway, you're gonna get better at controlling it, and you're gonna get better at movement. You're gonna like the character a little more. But don't be scared about the duck and sway, because it's not a primary thing about the character in terms of being able to utilize him well. Just use the big boy damage skills, stay out of people's you know, attacks, and you won't get fucked up. And then, you know, slowly but surely pick up how to use the duck and sway and the jump canceling when you're more comfortable. Something I can't say about the Oven Knight and the Chain Rush, where I say the first thing you should do is maybe practice Chain Rush. It doesn't really matter with this character all that much. But anyway, guys, that's my opinion on the Monk. Maybe you Monk mains have a different approach at it, but that's how I approach it. By the way, this is something that used to come up a long time ago when I started playing Monk, is that everybody and their grandmother's like, if you play Monk, use a controller, because you can like map the duck and sway to the left and right bumper, whatever. I play with a keyboard for all my characters, and I just said right there, it's not necessary. So if you're one of those guys that, hey, do I need to play with a certain peripheral to be able to be good with Monk? No. Stop that bullshit. You guys can do just fine with whatever your gear is. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. There was a little bit of Monk action, and I will catch you nights later.